You can hear the swifts outside. They just kind of swoop down, making loads of noise. They're so beautiful. So welcome to the Sunday night broadcast. I was in Manchester last week, and that was great. It was like really, really lively talk. Yeah, so first of all, I'll put some links below the actual video where you can link to my book, which is now hopefully on Kindle worldwide. I just didn't know how to do it, but I found the setting for that. And there's a donate button if you want to donate towards these talks, which would be very gratefully received. And there's also a link there to my private sessions. I do private sessions on Skype. It's very loud here. Which are really great, really great. I really enjoy the private sessions. Can really go into detail there. And it can be really beautiful and really energetic. So first of all, I'll do an intro, and then after that, people can ask questions in the live chat box. It's nice to be back in Spain. Hola, aquí. So all there is aliveness, life. What's appearing? Hi, Joe. What is happening? Just what is? It's so simple. What is? And in this also can appear, and it's not any different from anything else, but from its apparent perspective. Hi, Thomas. From its apparent perspective, it's looking for something else. It's looking for something that isn't it. It's looking for an end to seeking, or an end to its appearance. But ironically, what seems to happen is that that disappearance of that seeker is not an end to anything, because there's no end to anything. There's no beginning to anything. It's just not there anymore. So this message is not for that thing that's looking. All that's been spoken of is that life already is everything. You can't get, nothing can get closer to it. There's nothing to understand. There's no fragrance. There's nothing that can be sensed in it. Sensing is just another appearance. The fragrance of reality or truth is just another appearance. This is called non-duality because it encompasses everything. It encompasses all appearances. Even the apparent fantasy called time. Which is an amazing appearance, the idea that there is time and that there is future, and it's believed, and it's a reality to this one that feels like there is time, there is somewhere to go. and it calls itself me, but there is no me. There is no, it's not me. It's an appearance, a figment, a fantasy, an apparent reality that gives itself a name and an apparent location behind the eyes. So it lives in this kind of central, in this sort of central point where it thinks it looks out at everything and everything is separate from it. And it never sees that it itself, that appearance, is everything appearing. There's no difference between the sense of me and the no sense of me. It's just another thing. It's just another appearance, really. So what's been looked for can't be found. It can't be found in the next sentence, in the golden nuggets that it's looking for the aha moment. It's way too profound and beautiful. It's more simple and more full than that one can ever imagine. It's unspeakable, it's unbound, it's impossible to taste, to touch. It's impossible because it is everything. It's not a thing. Like non-duality is not a thing. It's pointing to everything, and that can't be pointed to. Yeah, it's too immediate, and it's not even, it's more than immediate. It's impossible. Try and describe this without it being a thing. There's no way. This sense of me is not only an energetic feeling and an energetic location, it's also a whole set of stories that are made up around it. Me and my life, me and my seeking, me and non-duality, me and the spiritual path, me and my relationship, my car, my body, my work. It associates everything with this sense of a being and a body, which isn't a being. There is no being there. It's an illusory appearance. Thanks, Joe. It was nice to see you there. It was a good talk. It was great. It was really, really beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, cutting away all these illusions, even though so it's also full of contradictions as well. Cutting away appears. Dismantling this illusion appears, but it's not appearing for anybody. There's nothing that's excluded from this life. All the stories are included. All the seeking is included. There's no me and everything. There is only everything. People sometimes ask me, well, what's that like? It's not like anything. It's like sitting in a room, speaking. What else that is can't be spoken of because it isn't happening to anybody. It's just happening. There is no freedom for anybody. There is no enlightenment for anybody. That is a carrot on a stick, which is endlessly sought for. This idea of nirvana, if there was such a thing, it wouldn't be happening to anybody anyway. Nobody gets anything. This idea of me, this sense of me, it's a function, an apparent function, and all it can do is look. And all it can do is think it's maybe got something or it's getting closer. It never gets there because there's nowhere to go. And that's why it doesn't get there, because there isn't actually anywhere for it to go, because there's nothing moving. What do I mean by that? There is no next moment. So in that sense, nothing is moving. Hi, Raphael. Oh, gracias. So there's nothing going anywhere. Hair here. There's no next moment. This is it. Hi, Max. Thank you. It's amazing, isn't it? There's nothing happening. There's nothing going anywhere. There's no conclusion. And intellectually, that's possible to see that. There is no conclusion to anything. These are all stories of the next moment and when I'll get it, and when I'll get there, when I resonate with it. It's so free. It's free, then it's just freedom appearing. But nobody can have that freedom. And because freedom is everything, it can't be found. Because it's already here. This can't be found, and that's the frustration of the seeking, because it can't be found. You can't find what's already here. Because of the fact, the obvious fact that it is already here. Doesn't need to be found. All there is the computer, the speaking, the bird sound, the sitting, his body. It's too simple. How can you find that? You can't find it. And all the stories that appear. But what about? They are just part of the appearance. So you are more than welcome to ask questions. I love getting questions because it just, a dialogue strikes up and a response comes, and that's always really beautiful. There's no such thing as a stupid question. All questions are always welcome. Hi, Will. Yeah. I was when I was in Manchester, there was this kind of library there, and I was just having a browse through the books, and there was a book called How to Find God. So I thought, wow, that's the title. So I picked it up and I looked at a page. I could not understand a word what they were talking about. It's literally like just words were just jumping off the page with absolutely zero meaning. Because the wonderful thing is, there is no meaning. I'm not saying meaningless, but there is no meaning because there's nothing moving towards anything. Keel. Oh, the bird was there. I thought here. It's only the sound of a bird. Yeah, we have swifts coming in and they swoop around the house and make that sound. They're really lovely. How to find God. It's funny that because it like puts God in this like thing that needs to be found. The freedom is in the unfinding, the ungetting, the unknowing. God's relevant in it. It's freer than any concept of God. That's such a narrow concept which is prayed for, hoped for, sought for, meditated for, prayed for, always for the next moment, which is not ever reality. No one's ever found the next moment. Most of those books were always about getting something, going somewhere, finding something, overlooking the total obvious nature of reality that there is only just this. But for the sense of the seeker, it's completely boring. Can't be just this. What about the golden nugget, the golden shiny enlightenment? For me, there's nothing wrong with those books, of course, because they are life too. They are aliveness. But what they point to is finding. And what's being spoken about here is there is nothing to find. Because liveness is already here, as everything, as this. Already singing its song, freedom, freedom. Singing the song of a grumbling truck right now. It's not very mystical, is it? The seeker looks for some mystical experience, and then it has a mystical experience might happen, and it'll think that that is something, that it's got somewhere. But this can appear as anything: mystical experiences, ghosts, I don't know, magic. But it's all the one aliveness. A dirty truck outside and a mystical experience are actually the same aliveness. Keel. Oh, let me just actually blow this up because my eyesight's not brilliant. Me seems to want to convince itself that there is a world outside this, but the bird also seems proof of a world outside this. Yeah, well, you know, there's I go out the door and there's the world. Can't get a hold of that. You know, I look out the window, there's this flowers, the sky, the sun. You see, the mind's trying to make a concept out of this appearance. It's trying to make a concept like, is there a world out there? Is there not a world out there? There is and there isn't. I have no idea if there's a world out there. Is it really there when I'm not there? I don't know. Is there a place called Moscow? You can't get this by, you can't get it, full stop. But you certainly can't get it by rationalizing what is real and what isn't real. It's so beyond that. It's just what is. Can't be intellectually understood. Can be kind of grasped by the mind, but then that's just life grasping by the mind. It's still life appearing as that. Joe, can you prove anything is real? Well, prove just, well, it's just what is. You can't prove it or disprove it. It doesn't really matter, does it? It just obviously is this. It's obvious. It's too simple. CD, hi CD. I've been watching you from Montana, USA, and I think you are describing things well. Thank you. I also like to listen to Andreas Muller. Thank you, Lisa. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Andreas, great. Yeah, he's cool. Thomas, is there something to say about the pain, contraction in the body in terms of progressive relaxation, or is it all the opposite? Progressive relaxation. When there's not that seeking energy, when that's no longer there, there is a relaxing, but it's not really, doesn't really mean anything actually. And there's no progress. The thing is, there's no progress to life. You can't get closer to life. There's the illusion of getting closer to life. Hi, Kim. There's the illusion I'm getting closer to life, which is impossible. It's impossible because it's already life. It's already aliveness. This reality, for want of a better word, no one can put a word on what is appearing. It's impossible. But if there is relaxing in the body, then that's always pleasurable, for sure. Hi, Synchronizador. Hi, how do you describe the I am? The I am is a word that's put onto that sense of contracted energy, which feels that it's something that is separate living in the body and calls itself I. That this is my life. I am here. I am seeking. And that sense of I is never content for long. Never content for long, because it's a seeking energy, seeking to become whole again, or to relax again, or to feel better, to improve itself, or to become one with the universe, or something. It's always doing something, but it calls itself I, but it's not really I. It's an illusion that I live in this body. There is only the body apparently living. And it's no different from anything else apparently being alive. And that includes walls and carpets. It's a sense of being in the body and looking at the eyes from this perspective. So you can't see the wall as aliveness because, well, it's not walking and talking and all that kind of stuff. When I am is not present, what's left is this. Yes, because this is all there is. And this is also the appearance of I am. When that sense of seeker is not there, all that's left is what already was always here. It's no different, except for it's more alive. Keel, I liked what Tony said. There is no I to be am. Yeah. Well, I and am are the same thing, aren't they? They're the same illusory appearance of there is this sense of being someone in the body. UAU. Sorry, I don't know that one. So I and me are words ascribed to this sense of a feeling of being a separate body looking out at the world and being discontent and feeling lost, feeling scared. Oh. Felt like an oh or a yay. I feel like it's a yay. Yeah, isn't that great? I just think it's great that all there is this. It's so simple, so amazing. There was never anything to look for. It's an illusory appearance, looking for something that's not this, something to usually to feel better. And the sense of I am looks for enlightenment because it feels like everything is then going to be okay. The question, CDD. The question is how to revert back to early childhood before this sense of me developed into a huge ego. Well, there's no reverting back. There is the sense of self appears, yeah, in the body of the child. It's like a kind of invasion of the body snatchers. Sorry. Yeah, and it can't revert back to it, but there is always that possibility that it can just not be there anymore, because it itself can't do anything about that, so it can't revert back. There is only what is, and that can be without that sense of I am. And something can hear this message, not that one, not that sense of separation, but something can hear this message. And it's a possibility that that might just drop away. Thomas, I mean, before the disappearing of the sense of me related to the physical pain or tension, if this pain has relationship with that disappearing, sorry, it's not clear thing. No, it's okay. Not sure if I understand the question clearly. There was just, there was just life happening. There was pain in relationships. Oh, if this pain with that disappearing. Oh, I see. A lot of that neurotic thought associated with the story of me looking and relating to everything as separate and everything happening to this life seemed to disappear. Yeah, but life still happens. Tense relationships can still happen, or pleasant relationships can still happen. There's no difference with that, really. But certain stories disappear for sure. It's more immediate. Nothing sticks. Nothing sticks anymore. It just, there isn't that prolonged storifying of everything. How it relates to me, what we're going to do about it, and how I feel about it, and all that stuff. Synchronizador. The feeling of I am deciding, is it? The feeling of I am deciding, is it? What is appearing as a story? What is appearing as a story? It's just story appearing, related to the sense of self. I don't understand the first bit. The feeling of I am deciding, is it? Question mark. What is appearing as a story? You see, what is appearing, everything that is appearing is actually the same aliveness. That's what that seeker will never be able to see or get. And it's, you can't get that anyway. Nothing can get that. It's just clear. It's just obvious. Obvious, like the sky is the sky or the water is water. It's just very, very obvious. Stories are stories. The sense of self appearing apparently in someone is a sense of self appearing. There's nothing, has really no meaning. CJ, hey. May you say more about the seeker using a relationship or partner to complete themselves and the pain from that? Thanks. Well, the seeker uses anything. It can use a relationship to feel, if they love me, then I will feel better. If they're a certain way towards me, I'll feel better. If this happens in the relationship, then I will feel better. But it never lasts, because the seeker is an engine that runs on seeking and temporarily satisfaction, getting its own way to feel better. But nothing will make it feel better, because it's the engine of seeking. It feels separate, and it will always want to go towards feeling whole again. Unknown and unseen to it, it already is wholeness. And and you say that you ask about the pain from that. So the seeker, self, doesn't expectations are not met in the relationship. So all kinds of feelings will be generated from that: rejection, pain, not good enough. All those things, but that's the sense of the seeker. It never feels good enough, because it never feels complete. It never feels complete, because it's overlooking completion. Itself is aliveness appearing as separation, but in reality, it is already complete. Synchronizador, it's not really appearing, is it? It's just what is, with no meaning, and on top of it is a story. Yes. Well, it's apparently appearing. The self is felt, and all the rest of the stuff around it, this energetic sense of being in a body, trying to find something. It's appearing, but it's not a person, because there are no persons. There are no separate entities living in bodies that are really the person. So it's illusory. The appearance is there, but it's actually illusory, because it's not a permanent, it's not, because it was not there to begin with, and it's a possibility that it can not be there again. So so it has no solid ground. And when it's actually looked for, so what is me? Where am I? it can't actually be found except for as a sort of a feeling or an energetic sense or a story. It's not actually really a thing that is real, but it seems to be there. There's no denying everything that appears in this, but none of it is actually solid or permanent. The illusory person, yeah. I'm here and I'm real, and I'm in this body, and that's that. Feels so real. It's like a sort of separate little reality within reality, but unbeknown to it, it is all the one thing. Synchronized or can what is be known? No, because knowing would be just another appearance. This is whole. This is just one energy, and knowing is just another color. Knowing is irrelevant. It doesn't need to be known. I think that's more accurate. What is doesn't need to be known and can't be known anyway, because it already is. The self looks for knowing, then it feels like, oh, I know it, then I know it, then I'll know it, and then it'll be all great. I'll be free. GR. Hi, GR. Everything is constantly changing, but what is aware of the changing is constant. What is aware? What is aware? Does the changing need to have anything to be aware of it, or is it just changing? If there's awareness there, then awareness is appearing as part of it. But there's no constant awareness. Hi. There's no constant awareness. Try staying in awareness. Won't last. Won't last at all. Give it 5 minutes. Yeah, everything's always changing. Constantly. But it's the same energy, always changing. Everything, this is all things, which is all the one appearance, all the one life, aliveness, is always changing. It never stays still. It's phenomenal. It's a miracle. Synchronizador. How do you know what is if it can't be known? Do you need, okay, I'll throw this question back at you. Do you need to know that you're looking at a screen? Or is it a screen? Do you need to be aware that you're sitting on a chair or lying on a bed or whatever it is? Or is it just obvious? Does that need to be known? It doesn't need to be known. The awareness or consciousness is constant. Consciousness. From here, awareness is the sense of self without a story, just a sense of looking, but it's still a sense of position. This doesn't need awareness. Awareness is just another appearance. It's not. It's not what awareness is. Not an end goal, because there is no end goal. Because there's no end. There's no end to this aliveness. It's utterly boundless. Being conscious of it narrows it down to a little. It's like a sense of self. It's narrow. This is just free, unbound, wild. This teaching of awareness teaches someone, a self, to be an unidentified self, which thinks that that is freedom. It is freedom, because Because everything's freedom. But that is not the goal. There is no goal in it. There's no goal to what I'm speaking of. Yes, the awareness of consciousness is constant. Yes, constant, always on, regardless of the body. Well, what is constant. It seems constant. That's beyond constant. Constant makes it sound like it's always in time. But it's beyond that. It's unspeakable. Jesus Rabbi. The Dolchinists, I don't know who that is, by the way, say that everything immediately self-liberates due to the fact that as soon as it comes into being, it is already becoming something else. Whew. Kind of a bit heady for me. Self-liberates, okay, let's look at it. Everything immediately Nothing needs to be self-liberated. It's already, everything already is liberated. It's already, everything is already free. And it's impossible to say that it comes into existence or comes into being. It's way too unbound. It's way too impossible to pin it down to it coming in and going out. It's impossible to pin down. It's ungraspable, really. Synchronized. I never experienced the end of being aware. Yeah, until the end of being aware happens, and then there will be no awareness. Awareness is a happening. Beyond words, I'm trying, lol. Yeah. Trying's happening. Trying is life appearing as trying. It won't get anywhere, because that is it. That is it. Everything that's appearing is the outcome and the beginning and the end simultaneously, without actually moving. CDD. This illusory person would drop away easier if it wasn't constantly thinking about itself and wishing it would drop away. No, not really. It doesn't work like that. It's a fake structure. It's a fake structure. The thinking is not the problem. Thinking is just thinking. It's less thinking will not make a greater possibility for that person not to appear anymore. The thinking is uncomfortable, though. Yeah, that's for sure. GR, everything is already free. We just think we're not. Yes, it's all included. Cheers, UFI. Right, can't be pinned down. No. Because there'd just be the appearance of somebody trying to pin it down. And then that's it too. That's it too. The trying to pin it down is it. The thoughts are it. The sense of seeking is it. It's all just this aliveness. Synchronize it all. With the end of awareness, something must be there to tell about the end. No, there's just speaking. There's just speaking about this. There doesn't need to be anybody. There doesn't need to be a sense of a center looking out, thinking it's somebody to speak about anything. Somehow this sense of self has this concept and this idea that when it's not there, there is no life of a human left. There was always a life of the human, was something thinking it was my life as a human. The life of the human is free and unbound. Hi, Steve. The seeker is an engine that runs on seeking. Yeah. It's a hamster wheel, right? Keel. Nothing wrong with me though, or better, nothing wrong with whatever sensation is taken from me. No, no, nothing is wrong. This is not about something being wrong or right. In this message, there is actually no morality in that sense. Something's wrong or right. No, there's nothing wrong. That sense of me appearing. There's nothing wrong in it. It is freedom appearing as separation. GR. The seeker is what is sought. We can seek an object, a car for instance, but we can't seek what we are. We are that already. Well, there is no we to be seeking. Seeking is just the appearance. It's a movement. It's a movement in an illusory thing called time, moving towards something. It can't be found. The sense of self that's seeking can't be found because it's a movement. It has no solidity. Thomas, the experience here is of a mostly constant pain in the body. I understand whatever happens, it happens to no one and alone. But is there some relationship with this constant pain in the end of me? Well, seems to appear that when I mean, I don't know if this is true for you, but when that sense of self is falling apart, that the structure is literally dropping to pieces, there can be physical pain. For sure. I used to have constant leg discomfort for a while. I'd have to kick my legs at night to relieve it. Like swimming in my bed, that is. But it's just what's happening. I mean, if it's pain in your legs, or you're not your legs, but in your body, it may be just a physical problem and you might need to just go and see somebody. I couldn't really say anything about pain. Pain is just pain. Pain doesn't go away because there is no sense of seeking. You know, nothing's going to save the body from pain. It's just part of this life, physical pain. You know, we pull away from it because it's uncomfortable, and that's natural. It's natural for the body to pull away, to try to find a solution to pain in the body. Joe, thoughts come and go. This isn't coming and going. That's right. This is also thoughts appearing to come and go. The seeker and all the thoughts associated can make what is spoken about here very complicated. Be very complicated and get into a minute detail. But none of it's true, it's just what's appearing. All the detail is appearing, all the little avenues for the seeker to go in and out of are just it as well. It's too simple. Sense of self is always looking for something that will hopefully end that in that experience. CDD. It occurs to me that if I were to stop seeking, then I'd just be being, and the dropping away would happen. Well, that would if I were to stop seeking, it would still be the same one still doing something. Stopping seeking is still a doing. That, I mean, stopping, it wouldn't last. It's just another practice, a practice towards something. What's missed is that there is no something. There is nothing going to happen. All there is what is. There's nothing that the seeker could do about that. If it stops seeking, well, there'd just be whatever's happening. But the dropping away of it doesn't happen because of stopping seeking. It doesn't happen because of anything. There's just the possibility that that whole illusion can just apparently crumble. It really is just an illusion that I am in the body, that this thing we call I, which is not the I at all. It's not who this body is. This body isn't anybody. It's just life being experienced as a human, but it's not happening to anyone. Joe, don't label the pain. Well, pain is pain, isn't it? You know, get a bee sting, pain. Run to the medicine cabinet or whatever. That's the way that's the way it is. There's nothing complicated about that. GR, our senses, including the thinking mind, are sort of like a filter into which consciousness flows through. You could say, our intellectual interpretations is a falsehood. It's an illusion. I have to read that again. Well, here there is no consciousness. It's either all consciousness or no consciousness. There is no consciousness that is. It sounds like what you're talking about is consciousness as something that's been sought for, which is a kind of freedom, but that's not true. Consciousness is just another me appearance. There's nothing flowing through anything. GR, we are individually, we are creating the world. We as in, no, creating the world. Well, that's just another sense of like, well, really, is that real? Is that true? Is the sense of I am creating the world? Or is the world just appearing from nothing? Doof, crazy. Are we creating the sky? The birds? Space between things? Or is that just boom, here, this? Wild. There's no we. There's no we. There's only we, us as a story appearing in this. And that's fine too, because that's just the story of the human, and it's amazing. Complex. Steve, I used to think the way to navigate to this was via a place called peace. I no longer believe this, but it's left me a bit lost. interspersed with periods of joy for no reason, then back to seeking. Yeah, that's right. Tony calls it meaning and being. Yeah. Because that place of peace is always for me. I want to be at peace. I want to feel better. I want it to end. I want to sigh and go, oh, thank God that's all over. But there is no peace in that sense. There is only freedom. There is only this unspeakable aliveness. It's neither peace nor not peace. It is neither something, it is neither nothing. It's not this or that. Our interpretation, yes, is GR, yeah. CDD, the world is appearing, but appearing to no one. Yeah, it's just appearing. This is biting me. This is just appearing. It's not for anyone, it's not to anyone, because the someone and the for someone is also that appearance. There is not this appearance and me. There's not this appearance and this is for me. This is the same thing. GR, we individually are creating the story of the human, as you say. No, I didn't say that. It's our interpretation. If it's not our interpretation, whose interpretation is it? Well, this is the thing, you see. Because there's a sense of separation, a sense of feeling someone, it can only think that there's possibly somebody that interprets. I think I've read that right. Maybe wrong. Let me read that again. We individually are creating the story of the human, as you say. No, the story, no, I did not say that. The story, the apparent story of the human race is just what's appearing. No one's creating it, because there is no one. There is no one. There is no one that's separate, that's doing anything. It's all the same cacophony of life. It's our interpretation. If it's not our interpretation, whose is it? Interpretation just happens. It's as simple as that. If there's interpretation appearing, then interpretation is the aliveness appearing as that. That's how simple this is and how obvious this is. There's nothing in it that can be found for the sense of me, only as a story or a feeling or something like that. Joe, allow everything to be as it is. Well, everything is as it is. It doesn't need to be allowed, you see. Who would allow it? Steve. How does the seeking engine that runs on seeking go kaput once and for all? Like the same as anything. There's no how. There's no why. It's like asking why does the sun rise in the morning? You can have some boring, dry, sort of scientific explanation for it, but it just sets or rises. Seeking just drops away or it doesn't. It's simple as that. There's no how to anything. GR, no one is creating, but we are interpreting it. That's the problem. Yes, it's the self, it's the self, it's a sense of self interpreting it and seeking in that. Oh, thank you, GR. Your questions are awesome too. I love that. I love these great questions. It's what makes the, this is what makes the talk, more vibrant, more alive. Yeah, it's interpretation, but interpretation is also just interpretation. There can be nothing wrong in what is, because that's all there can be. Whatever it is at any moment can only be that, no matter what it is. Oh, glad you could join, Giara. Thank you very much for coming. Anyway, my hour is up. I'm going to go because my lovely friend Will is here. And I'll be here same time next week. And thank you all very much for joining me, for asking awesome questions. And yeah, take care, everyone. Love you. Bye.